How's it going, friends? Welcome back to another Fallout 76 build guide, and today we got a heavy gunner crit PA ghoul build for you guys, and this is the current special layout that we have for the build. We have 9 strength, 3 perception, 8 endurance, 8 charisma, 6 intelligence, 9 agility, and 13 luck. Now let's go ahead and check out the perk cards. So this build focuses on damage, and for our strength we have our generic heavy gunner setup with the 3 heavy gunner damage perk cards, traveling pharmacy, and blocker. Now, some folks might find concentrated fire not as useful anymore, but I think that the little bit of damage that it gives can be, worth it. For our endurance, we have Ironclad for defense, Bullet Shield because of our heavy gunner, Through Hikers, Starch Jeans, and Glowing Gut. Now, Glowing Gut is probably my favorite perk card to get radiation for our glow because it doesn't require me to carry a gamma gun to re-up, doesn't require me to have very little rad resistance and use more perk cards than I need to get our glow. And we just need Toxic Goo. If you're on PC, hotkey it, or if you're on Xbox, get a bunch and stack it next to your canned coffee and do stack weight for your sorting. For Charisma, we have Strange in Numbers, Tenderizers for extra damage, United Ordeal, and Glowing One. Glowing One is a fantastic card if you play with teams, highly recommend if you don't have it already. Intelligence, we have First Aid and Field Surgeon just in case you want to fall back on stim packs if you prefer that for healing. Stabilized for extra damage, batteries included, and Science Monster, which works like a smaller version of Take One for the Team. It is a beast of a card and highly recommended. For agility, we have all of our onslaught cards, Gunslinger and Gorilla. Now you can opt out Gorilla if you're not the kind of player who likes to sit close to targets, and that's perfectly fine. All you need for this build really is just the Gunslinger Expert, well, the Onslaught perk cards, because we are going to be prioritizing Furious as our main weapon's legendary role. And then last but not least, we have our Gunfu. Vats, Gunfu, always a great combo. Now for our luck, we have our usual crit cards, Better Criticals, Critical Savvy. We have Ricochet for our PA, Class Freak for our Mutations, and then of course, 2 new cards, which is Faulty Spots and Glowing Criticals. Now to start things off, we have Take One for the Team. This is a throwaway card. You can use any card you like here for the 6th slot. I like this card because it's more damage and it's super duper nice. But for the 5 key cards that we need for this build is Endurance, Luck, Intelligence, Strength, and Agility. Not in that order, all maxed out. If you enjoy my builds, we use these 5 cards on every single one of them. But let's go ahead and check out our weapon. So we have a Furious 50 crit 25 LVC pinpointers Gatling Plasma with a calibrated capacitor, stinging core receptacle, and accelerated nozzle. You can opt out the pinpointers for polished if you so choose, and you can also replace the stinging core with swift if you want less AP. But the star of the show and the key ingredient to this build is the Furious mod. But now let's take a look at our PA set. So I like to use a Troubleshooters plus 2 luck on all my pieces with Through Hikers and Rangers. Now I know you guys may be wondering, why do you have Through Hikers and a full set of it if you're using the perk cards? The build is meant for the general public because I know everyone does not use Through Hikers and prefer different 3 stars. So this build will work for anyone who has a different 3 star than I do. For the 4 star is optional. I use Rangers because I like extra damage. But if you prefer the Conductor's Rejuve combo, you can use that instead. For the mutations, we are rocking Bird Bones, Eagle Eyes, Herbivore, Marsupial, Scaly Skin, and Speed Demon. You can use anything else that you would like, but these are the ones that I find that fit the best for this build. With that, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the buffs that we can use. So for magazines, you can use one of these 3 magazines for the Gatling Plasma or any energy heavy gun. It is the Tesla Science 9 magazine, which is heavy gun crit damage. You can also use the Tesla 7 magazine, which is energy gun crit damage, or you can use the Guns and Bullets 9 magazine, which is plasma gun crit damage. Now for the bobbleheads, the only bobblehead that you can use is the big guns. Energy bobbleheads unfortunately do not work for energy heavy guns. But if you want to be fancy, you can use the glowing ones as well. Now for foods, we have the sweet mudfruit tea. This is what I like to use because it has a long duration. There are a wide variety of different crit foods or drinks that you can take, but my 2 main go-tos is this and Blight Soup, since it's a lot easier to craft and you can get a lot of it very quickly. Now for the chems, you have three different options. I like to use overdrives for my crit combos, but if I'm using faster fire rate or if I run out of overdrives, I use psychotats or psycho buffs. But since we're a ghoul with full health, the psycho buffs or psychotats could be awesome options just because they provide some extra benefits compared to overdrive. But now let's go ahead and take a look at the damage. These guardian runs are going to be ran without buffs. And I know you guys may see that I'm feral. We fixed that by taking a rat away. And we're going to be using the sledgehammer shield breaking method to take out the shield, and we'll show you guys the damage. Now one thing I would like to mention is that everything here up until the snake and a little bit past is going to be done without a team. And I won't be critting every other shot, so I'm not going to be able to take advantage of all the damage that I can push with this gun. But the damage is quite decent when we're up close and personal. We're hitting for roughly around 2k per crit. I know you guys can't see it, but that's roughly around the damage that we can get with no buffs. With buffs, from range, you could probably get around 3k or a little bit more. But just to show that you're able to solo with the build just using all the basic stuff, we were able to in a minute and 10 seconds, which is not bad. Now the other way is using this build, but instead of using a pinpointer's polish, whatever it is, you use a bullies and just take advantage of hip firing, with occasionally bursting with crits. This is probably the cheaper way of soloing the Guardian with a heavy gun, I guess, but in no means is it better than the auto axe. But we'll skip ahead to the damage here, and we're hitting for roughly around 1400, which isn't too bad. I would like to note that we are in a private server, so that's why the health bar is going down smoothly and everything is running well. Inside of a public server, it works, but sometimes it can be a little bit sketchy because with how bad the servers are and how bad server lag can be, sometimes it gets a little bit too close and potentially fails. But just like the crit version, we were hitting, or we've cleared in about a minute and 11 seconds. So coffees or no coffees. Now with all of our buffs, being in a team with take one for the team being active, our damage is actually very nice. We're hitting for roughly 4, 5 to 2k, 2 to 5k I guess, and able to clear the snake in no problem. Now I'd like to address the question that you guys may have. Why am I not using any of the glow cards like Radiation Power or the other science perk card? The reason why is because I find that it relies too much on being micromanaged, because when you take damage, you lose glow. Even with the glowing one active in a team full of ghouls, it can prove to be a little bit rough. And if you have two cards consuming it at the same time and taking a lot of damage at the same time, you'll be draining your glow very quickly, rendering your science monster, glowing criticals, or brick wall if you have that, completely useless. For PC players, you guys will have a huge advantage because you can hotkey your goos. But for console or controller players, we have to open our Pip-Boy, spam our toxic goo, close it, and at the same time we're taking damage, so our glow is being reduced at the same time. But I'll show you guys what I mean here in just a moment. We'll go ahead and do an Earle, and we'll throw on the radiation power using the Gatling plasma that we have. So here we are, we're throwing on radiation power. We don't have a lot of glow on us, but I want you to watch the HP bar once we fill up with our toxic goo. And this is just going to be from attacking. It is basically gone, and we were only shooting for just a short period of time. I now have to take my toxic goo and also retake coffee if I want to keep critting, depending on the duration, and it just becomes a little bit of a hassle. But this is just me. This is the way that I see these perk cards and why I don't have it in the build. If you do like it, it's very easy to actually apply these cards to this build. But another alternative, as I mentioned earlier, you can do the conductors with rejuves and just focus on straight glow. That could be an option. But anywho, as for the damage for the Earle, we do have all of our buffs active, and it's not too bad. I really wish I had my luck maxed out at 33, so I can crit every other shot, because totally would have been able to do a lot more damage or push more damage with it. But hitting for, what is that, 848 and 1465 is not bad. But that about covers it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video and found the information useful. By no means is this the best build, though. This build has been doing wonders for me inside of raids and has been very good to me outside of raids, and I thought I'd share it with you guys. Of course, if there are perk cards in here that you guys may find a little weird and you do decide to try the build, you can opt them out for something that fits your playstyle a little bit more. But if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'll get to you as quickly as I can. But again, thank you so much for watching. Happy hunting, good luck, and I'll see you guys in the next one.